All right, let's dive right into a problem that, let's be honest, drives almost every auditor crazy, wasting hours and hours on tiny, insignificant expenses. Today, we're going to show you how to stop just checking off boxes and start using a much smarter, risk-based approach to profiling your audit populations.
So, I want to kick things off by asking you something directly. When you're staring down a massive list of expenses, are you really working hard or are you working smart? It's a simple question, right? But your answer pretty much determines the quality and, more importantly, the efficiency of your entire audit.
Because this is the painful truth. This quote basically says it all. Auditors waste time on small costs, and the big risks get missed. We've all been there. You get so bogged down in the weeds looking at low-value transactions that the really huge risks, the ones that can actually bring a company down, they just slip right past you. It's not just inefficient, it's flat-out dangerous.
And the cost of getting this profiling wrong? It's huge. Yeah, you're wasting time, for sure. But way more important is that major risks are completely missed. Your audit procedures end up becoming irrelevant because you're testing for the wrong thing. You get this false sense of security, what I call false coverage. You're pulling tons of samples, doing lots of work, but you're not actually addressing the risks that matter.
So how do we fix this? How do we break the cycle? Well, it all starts with shifting our perspective. It begins with a simple, but incredibly powerful framework that I call the 3 golden questions. Before you even think about testing a single transaction, you need to have solid answers to these. And here they are. Number 1, what is the specific risk I'm worried about here? Number 2, what is the control the company has in place that's supposed to stop that risk? And number 3, based on that, what is the precise purpose of my test? Seriously, if you can't clearly answer all 3, you are not ready to start testing, period.
Let's actually apply this, starting with question 1. What's the risk? Now, this seems obvious, but it's where things immediately go wrong. We don't differentiate. The risks you're looking for in cost of goods sold are totally different from the risks in G&A. For COGS, you're mainly worried about things like overstatement or cutoff. But for G&A, you're hunting for misclassification, missing expenses, and even potential fraud like kickback schemes. They are not the same animal at all.
Which, of course, leads us to question 2, controls. Because the risks are different, the controls are too. COGS is managed by things like production controls, a strict 3-way match, the bill of materials. G&A, on the other hand, is controlled by spending limits, budgets, and who's allowed in the vendor master file. You can't just use the same audit procedures for both because their safety nets are built in completely different places.
Okay, so the principles are clear, but theory is one thing. Let's get our hands dirty. Now we're going to move into the actual method. I'm going to show you how to put this profiling into action and really break down these big cost populations, starting with the big one, COGS.
Okay, I'm going to say something that might sound obvious, but it's the single biggest mistake junior auditors make. They look at the general ledger, they see that one line item, COGS, and they think it's just one giant bucket of costs. Let me be perfectly clear. It absolutely is not.
You have to see COGS for what it is, a collection of very different processes. You've got raw materials, where your main risk is about price and quantity. Then you've got direct labor, where the risk is all about accuracy and making sure that people actually exist. And don't even get me started on manufacturing overheads. That bucket needs to be split up even further. Each of these is its own population, with a unique risk profile, which means it needs its own unique test.
Now let's talk about selling expenses. This is an area where fraud can really hide, so just lumping everything together is a recipe for disaster. I mean, look at this. The risk for marketing spend is that it's completely fake or provided no benefit. For freight, it's more about simple errors or cutoff issues. And for sales commissions, you're looking for scheme manipulation. Now look at the documents, they're worlds apart. There is no way you can design one single test to audit all 3 of these effectively. And G&A, oh man, G&A is probably the most diverse category of them all. It's like the junk drawer of expenses. You have to break it down. You've got utilities, low risk, recurring. Professional fees, the risk is missing in accrual. Repairs and maintenance has that classic risk, should this have been capitalized. And then you've got travel and entertainment, which is another huge fraud risk area. Each one of these demands its own, very specific audit approach.
Okay, we've talked a ton about splitting things apart, but that brings up a really good question. When is it okay to group things together, and when do you absolutely have to keep them separate? Let's lay out some simple, smart rules to guide you.
So here's the golden rule, your decision-making cheat sheet. You can only combine populations if the risk, the purpose of your test, and the supporting documents are all identical. The second any one of those things is different, you have to split them. It's that simple. You just can't mix a test for fraud risk with a test for simple accuracy. It doesn't work.
And once you've done this profiling correctly, this is where the magic happens. You can finally prioritize your effort intelligently. Level 1. Your high-risk stuff like massive raw material purchases gets mandatory, detailed testing. No shortcuts. Level 2. Your medium-risk items get a smart mix of analytics and some sampling. And for Level 3, the low-risk things like office supplies, a good analytical review is probably all you need. This is what working smart looks like.
When you put all of these pieces together, something really powerful starts to happen. You stop thinking like a junior auditor just ticking off boxes, and you start thinking like a seasoned professional who actually understands the business they're auditing.
Let's just look at this mindset shift side by side. The junior mindset sees an account name and thinks, okay, that's one population. The senior mindset looks at that same account, like COGS, and understands it's just a label for a whole collection of different business processes, each one with its own unique risks that need a custom-fit approach.
And hey, if you want the ultimate takeaway, here it is. This is the partner's perspective, and it translates to this. Audit testing must be relevant to the risk, not the number of samples. That's it. That's the whole game. They don't care that you pulled 60 samples. They care that your testing was focused, sharp, and relevant to the biggest risks. It's about the quality of your work, not the sheer quantity.
So, the goal of everything we've talked about today is to get to this place, where your testing is efficient, your risk coverage is razor-sharp, and your audit file tells a clear, logical, and defensible story about the work you did and, more importantly, why you did it.
So, as we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Your next audit is right around the corner. When you get that trial balance, are you going to fall back into the old habit of just checking boxes, or are you going to apply these principles, profile your populations, focus on what really matters, and tell a clear audit story? The choice, as always, is yours.